Looking at the devastating statistics, American seniors are facing a mobility crisis that's hidden in plain sight. By age 65, nearly 40% of adults report significant difficulty with basic movements like climbing stairs or walking 3 blocks. What's even more alarming is that this decline isn't inevitable. It's preventable. But here's what they don't tell you about aging and movement. While Western medicine focuses on treating problems after they appear, Japanese elders have been practicing 5 specific daily movements for centuries that act like insurance policies for your body. These aren't complicated exercises or gym routines. They're simple, gentle movements woven into daily life that keep joints mobile, muscles engaged, and balance sharp well into the 90s. Now, I'm going to share these 5 movements with you, ranked from most foundational to most transformative. The 5th movement takes just 30 seconds and can prevent the most common cause of serious injury in people over 60. The 4th movement was actually studied by American orthopedic surgeons who found it more effective than many physical therapy protocols. The 3rd movement rewires your nervous system in ways that surprised even Japanese researchers. But the 2nd movement is the one that will shock you. It's something most Americans do completely wrong every single day, and when you correct it the Japanese way, it can add years of independent living to your life. And the 1st movement, the most powerful of all, is so simple that when I tell you what it is, you might think I'm joking. But this single practice has been linked to maintaining cognitive function, preventing falls, and keeping seniors out of nursing homes. Before we dive in, I'm curious about something. Drop a comment and let me know your age and where you're watching from. I want to understand who's taking charge of their health and mobility today. Movement number 5 is called Ashi Jobu, which translates to foot strengthening. This addresses the foundation of everything, your feet. Here's why this matters more than you realize. Your feet contain 26 bones, 33 joints, and over 100 muscles, tendons, and ligaments. When these become weak or stiff, it creates a chain reaction up through your ankles, knees, hips, and spine. Research from major medical centers suggests that foot weakness is directly linked to increased fall risk, with some analyses showing rates can reach up to 60% higher in seniors with poor foot function. The mechanism is straightforward. When your feet can't properly sense the ground or respond quickly to changes in terrain, your body compensates with tension in all the wrong places. Meet Sarah, 68, a retired librarian from Ohio. She'd started shuffling when she walked and felt unsteady on uneven surfaces. Her doctor wanted to prescribe balance medications, but Sarah decided to try something different first. She began practicing Ashi Jobu every morning, and within 3 weeks she was walking with confidence again. Her daughter noticed she'd stopped gripping the handrail when going upstairs. Here's the protocol. Sit comfortably with your feet flat on the floor. Lift just your toes while keeping your heels down. Hold for 5 seconds, then press your toes down while lifting your heels. That's 1 cycle. Start with 10 cycles each morning. As you get stronger, try doing this while standing, holding onto a chair for balance if needed. The beauty of this movement is you can do it anywhere, watching television, having your morning coffee, even during commercials. Your feet will thank you, and more importantly, they'll keep you stable when you need them most. But here's where it gets interesting. Strong feet are just the foundation. The next movement targets something even more critical for seniors. Movement number 4 is called Kata Mawashi, meaning shoulder circles, but this isn't the shoulder rolls you might remember from gym class. This is a precise movement that Japanese elders use to maintain what orthopedic surgeons call the kinetic chain, the connected movement between your shoulders, neck, and upper back. Why does this matter so much after 60? As we age, we develop what's called thoracic kyphosis, that forward head posture that makes you look older and feel stiffer. This isn't just cosmetic. When your shoulders round forward and your head juts out, it puts enormous strain on your cervical spine and can lead to headaches, neck pain, and even difficulty breathing deeply. American orthopedic surgeons who studied traditional Japanese movement Patterns found that this specific shoulder circle technique was more effective at maintaining shoulder mobility and reducing neck pain than many conventional physical therapy protocols. The key is in the direction and the breathing pattern. Consider Robert, 72, a former mechanic who spent decades hunched over engines. His wife noticed he was developing a severe hump in his upper back, and he couldn't turn his head to check his blind spot while driving. His doctor suggested expensive physical therapy. Instead, Robert learned Kata Mawashi and practiced it religiously. In 6 weeks, his wife said he looked like he'd grown 2 inches taller and he could turn his head normally again. Here's how to do it correctly. Stand or sit tall, arms relaxed at your sides. Slowly lift your shoulders up toward your ears, then roll them back, squeezing your shoulder blades together, then down and forward to complete the circle. The crucial part is to breathe in as you lift up and back. Breathe out as you roll down and forward. Do 5 circles backward, then 5 circles forward. Practice this 3 times a day. Once when you wake up to counteract sleep posture, once midday to break up sitting, and once before bed to release tension. Your shoulders will feel looser, your breathing will improve, and people will notice you're standing taller. The fascinating thing is how this connects to our next movement, which works on a completely different system. Movement number 3 is called Kokyu Ho, which means breathing method, but it's specifically designed to retrain your nervous system. Most people think breathing is automatic, and while it is, the way you breathe dramatically affects your balance, your stress levels, and even your cognitive function. Here's the science behind it that surprised even Japanese researchers. When you breathe shallowly from your chest, as most stressed Americans do, you activate your sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight response. This creates tension throughout your body and actually impairs your balance reflexes. But when you breathe deeply from your diaphragm, you activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which enhances balance, reduces inflammation, and improves mental clarity. Studies from major universities have found that seniors who practice diaphragmatic breathing show improved balance scores, reduced anxiety, and better sleep quality within just 2 weeks of consistent practice. The mechanism involves the vagus nerve, which connects your breathing to nearly every system in your body. Maria, 65, a retired teacher from California, had been experiencing what she called brain fog and frequent dizzy spells. Her doctor ran expensive tests but found nothing wrong. Maria learned Kokyu Ho from a friend who'd visited Japan and started practicing it every evening. Within 10 days, the brain fog lifted and she hadn't had a dizzy spell since. Her blood pressure, which had been creeping up, also returned to normal ranges. Here's the technique. Sit comfortably with one hand on your chest, one on your belly. Breathe in slowly through your nose for 4 counts, feeling your belly rise while your chest stays relatively still. Hold for 2 counts, then exhale through slightly pursed lips for 6 counts, feeling your belly fall. The exhale should be longer than the inhale. Start with 5 cycles, 3 times a day. Morning to center yourself, afternoon to reset, and evening to prepare for sleep. As you get comfortable, extend the counts. 4 counts in, 4 counts hold, 8 counts out. Your nervous system will recalibrate, your balance will improve, and you'll feel more centered throughout the day. This breathing foundation prepares you for our next movement, which addresses something most Americans do wrong thousands of times every day. Movement number 2 is called Tatami Suwari, which means floor sitting, and this is the movement that will shock most Americans. We've been conditioned to believe that sitting on the floor is uncomfortable or even dangerous for older adults. But Japanese elders sit on the floor daily, and this single practice maintains hip flexibility, core strength, and the ability to get up and down from low surfaces, a critical skill for independent living. Here's what's shocking about the research. Studies comparing American seniors to Japanese seniors of the same age found dramatically different rates of hip replacement surgery, lower back pain, and loss of independence. The primary difference wasn't genetics or diet, it was movement patterns. specifically the ability to comfortably sit on and rise from the floor. When you avoid floor sitting, your hip flexors tighten, your core weakens, and you lose the movement patterns necessary for getting up if you fall. It becomes a vicious cycle. You avoid the floor because it's hard, which makes it harder, which makes you avoid it more. Japanese elders never enter this cycle because floor sitting is woven into their daily culture. Think about James, 69, a retired postal worker from Texas. After a minor fall in his garden, James became terrified of being on the ground. He avoided any activity that might put him low, including gardening, which he'd loved for decades. His wife worried he was becoming sedentary and depressed. James started practicing Tatami Suwari gradually, first sitting on cushions, then lower and lower. After 2 months, he was back in his garden, confident that if he did end up on the ground, he could get back up. His wife said it gave him his life back. Here's how to start safely. Place a thick cushion or folded blanket on the floor next to a sturdy chair. Sit on the chair, then slowly lower yourself to sit on the cushion, using the chair for support. Start with just 30 seconds, focusing on sitting tall with your legs in whatever position feels comfortable. Use the chair to help yourself back up. As you get stronger, remove the cushion and sit directly on a carpet or yoga mat. Progress to sitting without using the chair for support. Eventually, practice different sitting positions, cross-legged, side-sitting, or with legs extended. The goal isn't to sit in lotus position. It's to maintain the ability to get down to and up from the floor safely and confidently. Practice this daily, even if it's just for a minute while watching television or reading. Your hips will stay mobile, your core will strengthen, and you'll maintain one of the most important movement patterns for lifelong independence. But even this transformative movement pales in comparison to our number one movement, which is so simple you might not believe its power. Before I reveal the most powerful movement, let me ask you this. Have you ever tried sitting on the floor regularly? Or does the idea make you nervous? Leave a comment and share your experience or concerns. Movement number 1 is called Aruki meditation, which translates to walking meditation, and this is where Japanese elders demonstrate true wisdom about aging. While Americans often think of walking as exercise, something to do for a specific duration at a specific intensity, Japanese elders integrate mindful walking into every aspect of daily life. Here's what makes this the most transformative practice. Walking meditation isn't about distance or speed, it's about presence and intention. Every step becomes an opportunity to maintain balance, strengthen legs, improve circulation, and most importantly, stay mentally sharp. Research has consistently shown that regular walking is one of the most powerful interventions for maintaining cognitive function, preventing dementia, and extending healthy lifespan. But here's the key difference. American walking often becomes mindless, something you do while listening to music or talking on the phone. Japanese walking meditation requires attention to each step, each breath, each moment of balance. This dual focus on movement and mindfulness creates neuroplastic changes in the brain that pure physical exercise alone cannot achieve. Studies from leading medical institutions suggest that mindful walking can reduce the risk of cognitive decline by up to 40% compared to sedentary lifestyles, and it's significantly more protective than mindless walking. The mechanism involves increased blood flow to the brain, the release of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, and the strengthening of neural pathways associated with attention and memory. Consider Helen, 71, a former nurse from Vermont who had started forgetting names and felt like her mind was getting foggy. Her family was worried about early dementia, and her doctor suggested cognitive testing. Helen had heard about walking meditation from a documentary about Japanese longevity and decided to try it. She started with just 10 minutes each morning, walking slowly around her neighborhood while paying attention to each step and breath. Within a month, the mental fog began to clear. 6 months later, her annual cognitive screening showed improvement in all areas. Her doctor was amazed and asked what she'd been doing differently. Here's the protocol for Aruki meditation. Start with just 5 to 10 minutes daily. Choose a quiet route where you won't be interrupted by traffic or distractions. Begin walking at about half your normal pace, paying attention to the feeling of your feet touching the ground, the rhythm of your breathing, and the subtle shifts in balance with each step. When your mind wanders, and it will, gently bring your attention back to the physical sensations of walking. Notice how your weight shifts from heel to toe, how your arms swing naturally, how your breath synchronizes with your steps. This isn't about achieving a meditative state, it's about training your attention while moving your body. As you become comfortable with short sessions, gradually extend the time. Some Japanese elders practice walking meditation for 30 minutes or more, but even 10 minutes daily provides significant benefits. You can also integrate brief moments of mindful walking into your regular day. Walking to the mailbox, through the grocery store, or around your house can become opportunities for this practice. The beauty of walking meditation is that it addresses multiple aspects of healthy aging simultaneously. Your legs get stronger, your balance improves, your circulation increases, your mood lifts, and your mind stays sharp. It's the closest thing to a miracle intervention that science has validated. Here's something remarkable that emerges when you combine all 5 movements. They create what Japanese elders call kenzen, which means healthy and balanced. Each movement supports the others, creating a foundation for aging with grace and independence. Your feet become strong and responsive through Ashi Jobu, providing a stable foundation for all movement. Your shoulders and upper back stay mobile through Kata Mawashi, preventing the hunched posture that signals frailty. Your nervous system stays calibrated through Kokyu, maintaining the mind-body connection essential for balance and calm. Your hips and core remain functional through Tatami Suwari, preserving your ability to move freely in all directions. And your brain stays sharp while your legs stay strong through Aruki meditation. The remarkable thing about these movements is how they integrate into daily life without requiring special equipment, gym memberships, or dramatic lifestyle changes. They're designed to be sustainable, enjoyable, and progressively beneficial over time. Japanese elders don't think of these as exercises to be completed and checked off a list. They're woven into the fabric of daily living, like brushing your teeth or combing your hair. This integration is key to their effectiveness and sustainability. Start with just one movement, whichever appeals to you most or addresses your most pressing concern. Practice it consistently for a week before adding the next one. Within a month, you can be practicing all 5 movements as part of your daily routine, spending no more than 15 to 20 minutes total throughout the day. Remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Some days you might do the full routine, other days just a few movements. What matters is consistency over time, not intensity in any single session. Your body will adapt gradually, and the benefits will compound. These movements represent thousands of years of practical wisdom about how to age successfully. They've been tested not in laboratories, but in the daily lives of millions of Japanese elders who remain active, independent, and mentally sharp well into their 90s and beyond. The Western medical system excels at treating diseases and injuries, but these Japanese movements excel at preventing them. They address the root causes of age-related decline rather than just managing the symptoms. They work with your body's natural healing and adaptation mechanisms rather than against them. By practicing these 5 movements consistently, you're not fighting aging. You're navigating it skillfully. You're maintaining the physical and mental capabilities that allow you to live life on your own terms, regardless of the number of candles on your birthday cake. The choice is yours. You can follow the typical American pattern of gradual decline punctuated by medical interventions, or you can adopt the Japanese approach of daily practices that maintain vitality and independence. The movements are simple, the science is sound, and the results speak for themselves in the millions of Japanese elders who embody successful aging. Think of these movements as a daily investment in your future self. Every time you strengthen your feet, mobilize your shoulders, calm your nervous system, maintain your hip flexibility, or practice mindful walking, you're making a deposit in your longevity account. The compound interest on these daily investments is measured in years of healthy, independent living. As you begin incorporating these movements into your life, pay attention to the subtle changes that occur over weeks and months. You might notice you're more steady on your feet, your posture improves, you sleep better, your mind feels clearer, or you simply feel more confident in your body's ability to serve you well. These changes aren't just physical, they're psychological and social too. When you feel strong and capable in your body, you're more likely to engage in activities you enjoy, maintain social connections, and approach life with optimism rather than fear. The Japanese concept of ikigai, your reason for being, is closely connected to maintaining the physical capabilities that allow you to pursue what brings meaning to your life. These 5 movements help preserve those capabilities, ensuring that age becomes a number rather than a limitation. Japanese elders often say that the secret to longevity isn't found in any single practice, but in the accumulation of small, wise choices made consistently over time. These 5 movements represent some of the wisest choices you can make for your physical and mental well-being as you navigate the years ahead. The path forward is clear and simple. Start where you are, with what you can do, and build gradually over time. Your 70-year-old self will thank your 60-year-old self for the wisdom and discipline you show today. Your 80-year-old self will thank your 70-year-old self for continuing the practice. And your 90-year-old self will embody the vitality that comes from decades of small, consistent actions aligned with the wisdom of successful aging. These movements are your invitation to join the ranks of elders who age not with resignation, but with intention, who see each day not as a step toward decline, but as an opportunity to maintain and even improve their capabilities, who understand that the fountain of youth isn't found in any pill or procedure, but in the daily practices that honor the body's remarkable capacity for adaptation and renewal. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and that step can be as simple as lifting your toes while keeping your heels on the ground, or taking a mindful walk around your block. The destination is a version of yourself that ages with grace, strength, and independence. Which of these 5 movements resonates most with you, and what's the first small step you'll take to begin incorporating Japanese wisdom into your daily routine?